Hello and welcome to Demag's presentation of our newest product, the DCBS Electric Balancer. I'm Tom Chapman, Business Development Manager at Demag for KBK and Closed Track, electric chain hoists, electric balancers, and our line of air balancers. We here at Demag are really excited to show you our newest product that really checks all the boxes in regards to quality, reliability, performance, safety, and value. The DCBS is the newest member to our electric chain hoist line. You can handle loads up to 350 pounds. You do that with either the grip, my hand encircles the grip, and I can immediately control the hoist either very quickly as needed or also very slowly and precisely when that part of the operation needs that level of precision. Once I remove my hand from the grip, the balancer is going to immediately switch into what we call load guided mode. Load guided mode allows me to put two hands on the load, and I'm able to move it once again very quickly as needed, or more precisely and slowly when that's needed. We're going to take a look at this and a lot of the other features that are part of this extremely versatile and very customizable hoist.
So in developing the DCBS Electric Balancer, we didn't need to start from scratch. We had a really rock-solid product line to form a basis on, and that's the DCS Electric Chain Hoist with variable speed. So got an example of that here. This is a DCMS manual lift handle where we've got a rocker switch, and you're able to control stepless variable speed very slowly or quickly as needed. So what this means to you is that we started with a really rock-solid product line that's been in service for about 15 years. So this part of the hoist, including the chain, shares all the same parts as our DCBS Electric Balancer. What the DCBS adds is a servo handle and a lot of features, programmable features that allow you to do a lot of different things, and we're going to be taking a look at that coming up. So the balancer comes with a standard spring latch load hook. That load hook can be quickly decoupled. It's got a pin on the top. This pin we sell as a separate item, and you can connect to this pin a custom gripper that could be either mechanical or could be motorized, and you can quickly couple and lock that back in. So you could use, to pick up different loads, you could use the hook or you could use a gripper and be able to quickly switch that out. So when I'm in grip mode, the balancer uses a couple of sensors. It uses a light barrier to detect when my hand encircles the grip. I break the light barrier, and then we use a second sensor, a pressure sensor in the handle that detects the very slight movements of my hand and translates them and produces the up-down lifting motion. So that's what happens in grip mode. When I'm in load guided mode, a different sensor is used. So I release my hand, and now there is a load sensor also in the handle that's connected to the hook. It's weighed the load, and it's going to set it up so that I can enter load guided mode and move the load by hand.
So now we're at the point where we'd like to suspend a load from the balancer, and that's going to give us the opportunity to talk about one of the preset functions. The left button on the grip handle is available and stops the signals being sent from the handle to the hoist so that it translates into lifting. So it cuts the functionality of the handle. It's a momentary button, so I grip the handle's functional, I push and hold this button, the light comes on, and now the handle doesn't cause the hoist to move. And that comes in handy when you want to move a trolley back and forth. If I do that while holding the button, no chain pays out, but if I were to release the button, then chain begins to pay out when I'm pulling on the handle. So that's one function of it, handy function. The other is when I'm trying to attach the load, I'm going to attach one of our trolley side cheeks and suspend it from these lifting straps. And if I try to do that while the handle's active, then the handle begins to move as I'm trying to attach it, and that's undesirable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself a little bit of slack, push the button, and that allows me to quickly suspend this, and then I can use the handle to carefully pick this up as quickly as I need it, as gently as I need it, and once I suspend the load, just to review, I'm going to remove my hand from the handle, and immediately the balancer is going to weigh this, and I'm immediately able to go into load guided mode. So at this point, let's say I need to perform some function on this part while it's suspended, or I want to build more parts onto it, and I don't want it to be moving. What I can do very easily is break the light barrier just by waving my finger through the light barrier, and what that's going to do is set the brake. So I go ahead and do that really quickly. There's a little bit of a click, and now load guided mode is disabled. I can go and add parts to this, I can make it heavier, and then to unset that brake and get it back into load guided mode really quickly, I just linger my finger there for maybe about a second. So before I did it really quickly, now I'm just going to linger it there. It unsets the brake, and even if I added parts, it's going to reweigh the part, set it up so it can be balanced and moved in load guided mode. So another way that the brake gets set is if I'm in load guided mode and I set this down, there's a safety mechanism as a preset value to where the balancer is going to sense that some of this weight has been removed, and it's going to set the brake. It's going to be removed quickly. So if I set this down, it set the brake, and what that did in the case of this part was prevented it from maybe falling over if I wasn't careful. So in order to set the part down fully, I could use the grip mode, set the part down as gently as I needed it.
All right, we can take a look at another mode that's available immediately from the balancer, and that is assembly mode. And what assembly mode does for us is it allows us to assemble two tight-fitting parts together. And if I try to perform this mode in just the regular mode, even with the grip is very reactive to the movements in my hand, so much so that it prevents me from doing this very easily. The same is true in regular load guided mode. The balancer is very reactive and doesn't allow me to perform this delicate task as easily as I might be able to. So what I can do is I can access what we call assembly mode. I do that by hitting the right button, which latches in and maintains. And now a new set of parameters are being used by the balancer, parameters that allow me to perform this task easier. So I'm able to go into a assembly load guided mode. The movements of the balancer are much more conducive to allowing me to do this. And as you can see in the video, where it's a loose fitting part, the balancer lifts up and down a little bit and finds the right spot to perform this task. So, and that's also true with the tight fitting part, like I have here. So I'm able to move this, and the balancer may move a little bit, but it allows me to perform that task easy. The balancer is still waiting to find its correct position, and now it's shut off and set the brake. As you can see, the load that we lifted originally is displayed once the brake is set. I can also set the balancer to say, I only want to be able to pick this up. I never want to be able to pick up this entire assembly. So I can go into the parameters, knowing the weight of only this, I can set it and say, only pick this up, don't pick up the whole assembly. So another nice safety feature that's available through the parameters.
All right, so far we've taken a look at parameters that are preset from the factory, but there's also a whole bunch of other helpful parameters that are available through the programming. And how we access the programming of the balancer is through an access port on the handle, and we use the cables provided with the balancer that plug into this access port. So I get to it by opening this little access port, which I've already partially removed. I plug into the top port, the provided cable, plug the other end into my laptop. Once I do that, I start a program that also comes with the balancer that I've loaded onto my laptop, and a little screen comes up. This allows me to scroll through and change the parameters on the balancer. So with these parameters, I can access a whole bunch of optional functions. I can change the function of these buttons. I can use let's say, this button to open and close a gripper. And there are also a number of safety interfaces when using a gripper, a powered gripper, that make sure that the load is safely handled and not released when the load has been lifted. So a lot of great features are accessible through the programming, easily accessible, easily scrolled through, make your changes, and they're immediately available to test and tweak.
Well, thank you for joining us for the demonstration of our newest product, the Demag DCBS Electric Balancer. It's a product that really checks all the boxes in terms of safety, productivity, performance, reliability, and with all the features available, it's really an outstanding value. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. If you'd like to learn more, or if you want to see an in-person demonstration, you can contact Demag directly, or you can contact one of our many local distribution partners in your area. Thank you.